Hello and welcome back to the EQC of 2019.
Division 1, yes.
Fantastic. My name is Jandos and I am from New Zealand.
And my name is Richard Tukovic. I'm from Austria and I think one of two Austrians here.
Fabulous. So we've got a very exciting game coming up for you right now. We are currently have the Darmstadt Athenas from Germany.
Yeah, versus Paris Frog from Paris, France. This is sort of a rematch because these teams have met at last EQC as well. And during the group draw when these teams were drawn together, I can vouch for the Darmstadt players, but it would surprise me a lot if the Frog players didn't have the same thought. Oh Christ, not these people again.
So we're just looking up at the original lineup, just waiting for the ref's call.
And off we go. Darmstadt first on the quaffle. The bludgeon control is also... No, it's bludgeon control is with Frog.
Just go over the tips of the fingers there, but will they retain? Taking possession back, getting it out cleanly.
But
yeah. Good defense.
Back in the arms of Frog. Yeah, Darmstadt Athenas, one of the top teams in Germany, have been going through sort of a rebuild in the last couple of months. A couple of old players have resigned or stopped playing or moved to other teams, so this squad is not the newest. It's not the most routine squad that they usually have. Oh, a nice interception here.
Put it go face down, 2 bludgers, now 1 bludger. And
goes into nowhere. There's a little bit of space here for Frog, but no, the Darmstadt defense is standing strong already. But the Frog continue to have the bludger control here.
Straight beat onto number 14 and going straight into a 1.5. Shoots and misses. Quite a few attempts at goal here, actually, yeah. and quite a few misses. Is that coming from a place of desperation, do you think, or more that they are used to making those long shots?
French Quidditch is sort of always like a black box to the outside world. There are very few streams of the French tournaments, and basically the only time most people outside of France see French Quidditch is at tournaments like this. So I don't know, maybe those long shots just normally work for them in the French tournaments or in the French leagues. Darmstadt are generally, historically at least, known for being a drive-heavy team, so the long shots are sort of unusual by them. But then again, this is not the usual Darmstadt squad that you are used to if you watch German Quidditch, so I don't know.
What were Darmstadt? They were just having a wee little song just then.
Yes, the Da 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 Darmstadt, German viewers and
yellow
spectators
card,
of German Quidditch.
Paris Frog number 61, illegal contact from behind. No, 61.
What are they shouting?
Now we're back to another classic Darmstadt chant, Dosenbier, which translates to canned beer. There's also the chant, if they win a game or if they actually win a tournament, ihr seid nur ein Dosenbierverein, you're nothing more than a canned beer club. Yeah, they were originally founded under the name Darmstädter Dosenbier, so that's where this one originates from.
Fantastic.
Oh, nice one here by the Athenas. 10 up, 10-0. First blood in this game. Frog defense wasn't entirely ready yet when the game was reset. But yeah, now they are back in full squad again. And Darmstadt with the bludger control for, I think, the first time in the game. Missed beat, and now it's time for Darmstadt to do the German classic, the pressing. But there is some room here. Missed beat and some room for the Frog, and they equalize. 10-10.
Interesting play from number 4 of the Paris Frogs. That one there is known as Stellar. She's actually doing a lot of strong man-on-man defense. And also moving down.
A tap in goal by the Athenas here. 2010, the new score for the Athenas up. Yes, that's definitely a true Stellar with very good positioning in front of the hoops.
I noticed there was it's very interesting, almost an L shaped with the rest of the offense taking a very flat line approach. And you watch her now. She's going to start walking down the pitch, getting a bit further ahead. Getting ready to do that drive. Making the cut.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's through. Fantastic.
But she's close to unmarked. You're right. That's definitely... You'd think that after having caught a goal like that, that Darmstadt would mark her more, but, well...
I love a good bit of underestimation in Quidditch.
Yes, absolutely.
It's always lovely to see it when it happens. But looking forward to other players. Is there any on the Darmstadt team that you think you could draw our attention to?
Well, obviously, both of them are subbing out the classic, like Henny Schörs, who used to play for Leipzig for a long time as a beater, and Nadine Čuranek, co-founder of the team, co-founder of several other teams as well around Central Europe. A lot of their classic players, yeah. Pass to the center. No real openings here for the Athenas. Missed beat, but no, he still pulled the trigger, and that will not do them any good. And it is frog ball once again.
Sounds like a potential new name for Quidditch. Frog ball.
I don't know. Very slow build up here from the frog. But again, the number 4, she's already
down there,
already
forming
down
that
there.
L offense. Beat is skating through the center. Trying to regain control. Number 98 back in possession with 2 bludgers. Straight onto hoops.
And that one's gonna be a side out. Oh no, it isn't. Oh no, it is. It is.
Earlier this year, last year, the Quidditch rulebook underwent some major changes. One of them was actually the change in shape of the Quidditch pitch.
Yes, a rule that was changed under quite some controversy, but I think there's very few people who don't see the benefits of it now. Giving a lot more space behind the hoops. Well, that was an easy block. Oh, almost intercepted by Darmstadt. What I'm saying, almost. They do intercept it. Oh, nice. Shaking off the tackle. I think that's Thorsten Ostermeier here. Goes down by the keepers on line, but that is frog ball once again. Some very physical defense here.
Bringing it back to some of the newer viewers to the sport, one of the interesting things about Quidditch is one of the only sports we have almost a 360-degree scoring potential.
That is true. That is true, yeah.
Most sports, such as basketball or football, have the goal at the back of the pitch, whereas this is almost a quarter of the way in. Yeah. So players have to be a lot more strategic in their positioning around the hoops. And a straight in from number 4.
Again, we've mentioned her. And there's reasons for that. 2020, another equalizer here. Very low scoring game so far.
We're roughly entering into our 6th minute, so we're getting there slowly. About 1.5. Depends on what kinds of games of Quidditch that you're actually playing. Some games can end up having a goal every 30 seconds. Others can end up having 5 minutes without a goal.
Yeah. But then again, that's the same in every sport, isn't it? Like we've... Yeah.
I would disagree. Football is like 3 goals in one game. And those big long shots from the French offense.
Not hitting them so far. Well, still in a better position here with the bludger control on their side.
Let's see how they're going to use it.
Yeah.
They've been battling hard. I have a sense that they're going to be a bit reluctant to give out that control since they fought so hard these last few minutes. And they're now moving up the field.
Slow build-up from the Athenas here.
And a straight beat onto number 14.
Yeah.
That one is
slow build-up here. The Athenas do not seem in a hurry at all. Oh, missed beat here, and that gives them an opening, and they do it! Stefan Wirsching, German national team coach, by the way, in his relatively unusual position as keeper. Normally this man is a beater, sort of a beater legend in Germany, but, well, turns out he can keep as well. 30-20 for Darmstadt now, the new score.
Interesting dynamic now, the Paris Frogs, the flatline offense. Beaters are stepping up the aggression. A nice little back pass and straight through.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
Beautiful, beautiful ball handling from
gorgeous
the Frogs.
Use of the space behind the hoops, as you've already mentioned previously. 30-30 equalizer here for the Frog. Who, as I've been told many, many times by now, do not want to be called frogs. They're the Paris Frog, not the Frogs. Apparently, they're together, they form a frog. Yeah.
Moving in, taking on that tackle. A nice screen from...
Yeah, that one will go into the hands of the Frog. Yeah.
Interesting. Bit of a scuffle there between player 69 and player 32 of Darmstadt and player 69 of Frogs.
And Frog go ahead for, I think, the second time in this game, 40-30, the new score. We're seeing some goals now after a, well, slow start in the goal department.
I think they're getting a bit more comfortable. I think definitely Darmstadt have started feeling a little bit less confident. They got up 3 or 4 goals. They've now lost those goals, and they're trying to regain them again. It's, I think, at least I'm getting a strong sense that Darmstadt have an A team and a B team.
They do. But, oh! Wasn't through, interestingly enough.
2 bludgers go flying.
Oh, some very good goal line physical defense here. Pass to the center.
Beautiful catch by number 56.
It is still Frog ball, but Darmstadt will be happy with at least this part of the long shot behind the hoops, and that one goes behind the boundary, and it is Darmstadt ball once again.
Yeah. That was number, I believe it was number 66 that did that amazing one-handed catch. It's not very common in Quidditch to see those one-hands.
That is true, yeah.
Quite often when you're ever doing trainings for Quidditch, it's always going to be a two-handed catch every single time.
And if you don't catch it with 2 hands, people will yell 2 hands at you.
Continuously.
Yes, continuously.
Or sometimes 3 hands if you're particularly bad at catching the ball.
But that now we're going into technicalities of, and also there is
an amazing
beautiful
block. Second effort, third efforts.
Some very, very tough goal line defense here by Darmstadt, and it's keeper ball. Darmstadt, no goal. Frog can't be happy with that one, but well done on Darmstadt here. Having a look through the results of the earlier games, Frog won against Antwerp B 160-40, while Darmstadt beat Sagen EF from Norway 110-50. Both teams here with the snitch catch.
Amazing player, number 73, just hanging back at the moment. Noel Mutter says, big man with an even bigger heart, the bard of German national team and the motivation cornucopia.
These facts sometimes border on the indecipherable. It's interesting, yeah. Frog going up 50-30 now with a very nice drive here, catching the Athenas off guard a little.
And here we go. Pushing in strong on the Beta offense. Number 13 on the Darmstadt, taking back bludger possession. Quick tap beat from number 77 of Darmstadt. A double female beater.
Madeleine Fischer, also a sort of a legend in German Quidditch, yeah, as one of the best female beaters.
This is, I have never seen in all my days a double female beater. This is incredible.
Well, that's what Darmstadt do. But what they apparently don't do is
block goals.
Block the goals anymore. Frog going on the swim edge here with the 60-30. That can't be in Darmstadt's interest whatsoever. I would not have been surprised. Would not have been surprised had they taken the timeout here, but Darmstadt decide against it. On heavy pressure, and there's Nadine Tyranek again.
Bit of a Hail Mary, quite a dodgy
but she catches those. Oh, a very good challenge here. She is beat out.
A gang tackle taken on there. 2 players on 1, completely legal as long as both are engaging from the front.
70-30. Okay, Darmstadt will have to take the timeout now. They don't. They do not do it. Okay. Well, Athenas will have to know what they're doing better than I do. So
the current score, Paris Frogs 70 with Darmstadt at 30. Looking into about the 12th minute. There's still time. There's another 5 minutes. They can make this work before snitch on pitch. Like I said, it's a very exciting dynamic. The game will change drastically once the snitch comes on pitch.
Absolutely, yeah.
Interesting
pass. With
bit
the
too
backhand
high.
almost. And keeper ball. Number 29, I know you want the ball, but now it's the keeper's. Nouvelle.
Interesting. That little taking the time out now, I guess.
There it is.
I learned a fun little fact actually about those kinds of passes, the big loopy passes.
Yeah.
So in English, we often call them a Hail Mary. But in France, they call them le cloche, which means bell.
Oh, that's nice. I mean, it's sort of what in German, not every, I wouldn't say every Hail Mary is called that, but if it's a long pass that traverses not only distance but height, and it takes a long time, you'd call that the Bogenlampe, which is a form of lamp characterized by its very curvy shape, like a bogen. Oh Christ! My German to English translation has seen better days.
No.
I'm terribly sorry.
No, I think you're doing splendidly. I think
I am trying to.
Very well. Very little can be said for myself.
We're currently
at least.
seeing the Darmstadt huddle here on the camera on the screen. Yeah, they will have to do something differently here. Like the offense of Darmstadt in the last couple of possessions did not seem dangerous whatsoever. Yeah.
All right, here they go. Remotivated, pulling their whiteboard out halfway through.
Yes.
Seems like their coach has been planning a bit more of an offense while they've been on the sidelines.
I mean, that's one of the things that, at least internally in German Quidditch, is relatively known, so we might be spilling a little secret here. But, I mean, if he brings out the whiteboard on pitch, it's obvious. Darmstadt is one of the few teams that have an actual game book, like actual playbook, like you can see in American football, like every team would have. Darmstadt are one of the few who are trying this approach in Quidditch. And now we'll see what they changed in their game plan versus the frog bludger control. So good luck with that.
Oh, that would a bit of a contact from behind, but the ref decided not to call it. Apparently that was legal.
It also seemed like a play on the ball and not really a tackle, so I don't know.
Oh,
Nice challenge here against Nadine Cyranek.
Beautiful control from Nadine Cyranek.
Dodging the beat here. And that is going to be the counter-attack goal from the Frog, what they have been doing all game. Number 29, Nouvelle again. We've the person who did the marvelous one-handed catch. The Odell Beckham Jr. of the game at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, what
I just want to draw attention to number 27, female chaser. Oh no, she's not on pitch at the moment. They're coming in hard. Oh, beautiful dodge and taking those.
Lovely
nice
pass here. And yeah.
Dodge.
90-30. The timeout did not do Darmstadt any favors here, it seems like it. Lovely goal here by number 97, Cedric again, off the Frog. Sorry.
Nice little breeze suddenly picking up here, blowing away half of our notes. But that's going to have to be taken into account for the players on field.
Absolutely, yeah.
As far as the game has been developing, taking wind into account has been a major factor, especially on those Hail Marys.
Lovely drive, and that one went through with almost no resistance. But goal was not given, beat before. And advantage called for Frog, which means free play, which means, well, just try and score. And it is a goal, 100-30. Oh my God, Darmstadt really do not have their head in this game. But well done on the Frog, again, for a lovely counterattack once again. This would normally be the point in the conversation where I would mention the wonderful league structure that Germany has, giving all the teams a lot of playing time, a lot of experience throughout the time. But Darmstadt do play in the Rhein-Main-Liga, which has only seen a single game day of league play this season.
Well, I'm not being a little bit distant from European Quidditch. Just looking objectively at both teams, I do notice that the Paris Frogs do have the height advantage overall.
That is
which is not generally a major factor, but can be a huge influence, especially when you're looking at pair-ups. But I also noticed that the Paris Frogs are much more agility and running based, so they're definitely using the speed to their advantage. I think that maybe Darmstadt are a lot more tackle heavy. They've been doing some brilliant tackles, and so. But the Paris Frogs have been returning that in kind. So
I've seen a lot of marvelous dodges of beats by the Frog side, so that certainly helps them as well.
Beautiful dodge, but takes it down, gets back up. A nice little Andy's out. Unfortunate for the chaser lineup there. They just couldn't quite deliver.
Yeah.
And it's quite, actually, we're in quite a good position here, actually, to see where all the three chasers are in terms of supporting their chasers. One of the biggest things I find in European Quidditch is players that cannot be an effective support, usually when there are too many players between you and the ball carrier. So you can see here there's just a little bit more tweaks that need to happen on this offense. So let's see if they can fulfill it.
Also, with Frog being down a chaser now after that yellow card, maybe there's a little more space for the Athenas here around the hoops, but that's still only just one goal. They're behind 7. They need at least 4 to try and at least drag this game into overtime with a snitch catch. So there's quite a little bit of work left for the oldest team in Germany, actually. And that is the Darmstadt goal, which also means Frog are in full squad now. 100-40, the current score.
Time is 15:17. Paris Frog will call their
we're
timeout.
calling
Score is
a
100-30.
We might be calling another timeout.
Yes. Frog have taken their timeout, which means we will not be seeing any timeouts in the...
Let's have a little bit of a look at the teams and their huddles. Who appears to be having a bit of a talk, or who seems to be talking here in the team? Can you see?
We are seeing the Frog right now having their huddle. We saw the Darmstadt huddle earlier.
They seem quite calm. They seem very collected. They're feeling in control.
It's definitely the calmest I've seen a team that has just taken a timeout in a long while. Look at them. Their huddle is already over. It's basically just, this just really looks like a huddle that was taken just like, okay, snitch on pitch is coming up. What do we do? What do we change for that?
For context here, the Darmstadt team are still in their team huddle. Pulling a bit more of the team spirit back together, getting ahead in the game.
With the chant of Dosenbier, can't beer, maybe a reminder if we get through this, we can finally drink something. They are German, after all. So.
Yes. Who would win in a drinking match, the UK or the Germans?
I think it heavily depends on what kind of beer you're using for that one, or other spirits.
Or it depends who wins the tournament overall.
Well, if a German team wins the tournament, I feel like the entire German Quidditch community will be drunk for 2 weeks. Like, well done on the matches won so far, and well done on Rhinos for beating London Quidditch Club, which no one I think expected, but yeah. Mid-range shot again by the number 97 by Cedric again. That was good, and certainly not how Darmstadt wanted to come out of that timeout. But they do got
good
possession control back. Pass to the side, goes past his 2 chasers and goes out of the box. Oof.
Yeah.
That's
well, we have
hurt.
a brief brooms down. Another fun fact about the French team: they have no fun facts.
They do have no fun facts.
Just very, very rather informative, but
it seems they want to keep up the mystery of French Quidditch abroad. Like there is definitely like actual Quidditch scenes of countries that. Contact below the knee is the card versus the Frog player, giving Darmstadt a new lease on this on this drive that was basically already over. No, there's definitely like countries that want to keep the mysteriousness, like the Norwegian championships, for example, a couple of weeks ago. They were filmed, but they chose not to release like they choose not to stream this, which is also unusual because they didn't want to give anything away for their opponents for EQC, which is a weird choice, but I mean, Norway, you do you.
Coming and showing that huge amount of sprinting athleticism. A little cloche, a good block.
Yeah, those blocks and dodges for Frog are crucial.
You have to be prepared on those long shots to take a beat immediately after catching. Number 21 getting a nice sneaky beat from number 14 from Darmstadt. Number 27 from the Paris Frogs now coming up. She doesn't have a bludger, but how's she going to make the most of it?
Definitely here to make the other beaters' lives a bit more difficult.
Fun little fact here about number 27 beater for the Frogs. Her fun fact reads, she might look like Arya Stark, but the girl has many faces.
I think that's the Darmstadt cheat sheet, though. Sorry.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
That's my mistake. My mistake. 27 on both teams. Ooh.
Yeah. A lot of good female
maybe
beating here.
Maybe she is playing for the Frogs. That's why, because when she does look like Arya Stark.
Oh.
It could be.
And that was a very weird Athenas goal. 110-50. It seems slowly but surely Darmstadt is not, I wouldn't go as far as saying getting a grip on this game, but they're definitely taking part in it again. And well, that's definitely a first step.
So we have two Seekers now lining up, getting ready. Number 29 for the Paris Frogs and number 32 for Darmstadt.
29 Nouvelle. We've seen the person who did the one-handed catch and a couple of lovely goals. I think 32, we don't have a 32 on our screen, but I'm pretty sure that's Thorsten Ostermeier. Either way, both will be coming on pitch very soon.
They have here, there are many words that describe him. Methuselah, Turbo, Tornado, and Sneaky Seeker.
120-50 is the new score here. Darmstadt going for the catch immediately, wanting to finish this one.
Straight away. Let's see how the Paris Frogs shape up in terms of their seeking. If you don't mind, I'll keep an eye on the seeking.
Let's divide that one up that way, yeah.
Going for quite a wide-armed reach and swing. Not the most effective tactic as a seeker, but going for tucking underneath, quite effective. As a seeker, you have to be extremely resilient in being thrown to the ground multiple times. You have to be quite experienced, being able to get back up quite quickly.
It is also a very thankless position, as you're probably being beat out like more times than you can actually try and catch. And while I say this, I'm being proven wrong instantly. Marvelous catch here by Frog. The referees, the usual procedure when a snitch catch happened, all the referees and the snitch runner get together, talk about what they saw, if that catch was good, if there were any things that could have prevented this catch from being good, if there were any fouls. But it is called good immediately. Paris Frog with a demonstration of their power. 150 start to 50 versus Darmstadt Athenas. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I mean, they put up a solid offense, solid defense on Darmstadt's side. But the Paris offense, to be honest, if I had to make a critical assessment, just pure fitness. Pure fitness. They have such an amazing agility, amazing speed, and they really use that to their advantage. It was an extremely powerful lineup. I really look forward to seeing how they will perform against other faster teams where they're going to have to rely a little bit more on their minds to get around things. Those fast breakaways were very indicative of...
Those counters. Darmstadt had no opportunity, had no idea what to do against those. Yeah.
But as it is in every game of Quidditch, we don't settle for a handshake. We settle for a hug.
Of course, this is still a very community-driven sport, but don't for a second think this is not like full-on sporting competition. Like, yes, we hug each other, but afterwards, all of those Darmstadt players will be angry at them. I'm angry at themselves. This is definitely not what Darmstadt were to expect. It is weird in a way. It almost seemed like Darmstadt underestimated the Frog, and how? Like, I don't get how. They have been playing each other last tournament. These teams should sort of know each other. I don't know. Just a bad break here for Darmstadt, having no No solution to what the Frog were doing on offense. And, well, very well done on Frog, executing their potential.
I do think that there was very little, there was not much adapting, I think, on either side in this game. It's sort of, they settled, there was probably more to be done for Darmstadt, and that sort of happened around about the 7 to 12 minute mark. But ever since then, they've just been firmly just trying to stick with what they knew. It's just one of the unfortunate cases in Quidditch where when you're kind of trying to, when you try and adapt, they just adapt better.
It used to be a problem for Darmstadt. Like, that was relatively known in the German Quidditch scene for Darmstadt being a team that does have trouble adapting. Oh, the Darmstadt team is waving to the camera and to us. And a classic Darmstadt bowling move, a strike by Nadine Ziranek. Yeah, I'm sure they would have loved to have the strike on the win-loss column, on the win side after this game, but good to see their spirit is not broken.
What a fantastic team. Just what a fantastic team. They're jumping up and down, having a good wave. I feel kind of bad now for being so critical.
Oh, they can take it. They are a former German champion. They are, nothing you can say will be as critical as they are of themselves, probably. Yeah, again, it used to be a problem for Darmstadt for not really being able to adapt in-game. That was something that people would have said they have overcome. Maybe it's creeping up a little bit with the generational change that you have. A couple of old players having hung up their boots, a couple of new players stepping in. Yeah, it's... oh, well, they'll have to learn from this loss. They'll have to come back stronger. And if any team can do that, then I'm thinking it's Darmstadt.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe we will be handing over to the analytics team very soon to hear more in-depth thoughts on what happened during that game. So, without further ado, I believe we will hand over.
Yes.
Hello, thank you for joining us again back on the EQC, the EQC panel. What did you just think of that game? We just saw Paris Frog versus Darmstadt Athenas.
Well, I gotta say, Bex, thank you for joining me here, but I gotta say, as a German, I wouldn't have thought that this would be like a so lopsided game. I mean, it's pretty rare. This tournament has been pretty even, but now we saw Paris Frog taking care of business with 150 star to 50 for Darmstadt. And Darmstadt is not a club to be like just thrown out the window. They put out the fight, but yeah, Paris Frog clearly showed them who's boss in this game.
They did. It's quite easy to underestimate Paris Frog. Like, obviously, they're a good team and they're in like the French elite, but you hear it's all Titan, Olympian, Titan, blah, 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 and then it's like, oh no, Paris has another team and they're also really good, and they kind of get lost in that. But they show why they should be here and why they're one of the best.
I think you're absolutely right. I mean, Paris Frog lives in the shadow of Paris Titans, and I think I need to. They deserve better. I think I have to look at all these teams that are behind, like Antwerp, LQC and stuff. I need to pay more attention to them because they deserve their spot in the spotlight. And yeah, I got to give a shout out to number 97 of Paris Frog. He's had a phenomenal game, a lot of drives. He was so aggressive in offense. I'm very sorry, excuse me. And he really proved that he alone can carry this team. And he had great teammates, but he really put his emphasis, his stamp on the offense.
Absolutely. I think with their offense as well, Paris read the game, very relaxed. They're like, no, I'm going to wait until I've got a 100% chance of getting this in. I'm not going to go for a 95. I'm going to wait until it's 100. Pass around a little bit. I'll hold the ball. I'll pass. Now go. Yeah. Whereas Darmstadt were just trying to counter them rather than playing their own game the whole time.
I mean, for Darmstadt, we have to mention that they're not playing with their usual team. There's a lot of players for them that like on a gap year, like abroad. but they still brought a good team to the tournament, and I think they play with a lot of fun. I mean, that's something I love about Darmstadt. Whenever they come to Darmstadt, it's their chores. They're always smiling. You can see them at the social at Sunday, I bet, and they're just a charitable bunch to be around. And of course, you have to mention that they're sporting the national coaching team of Germany in Steffen Wirsching and Nadine Ziranek. And these guys have a lot of good brains. They started with the 2-2 defense, which is now played all throughout Europe and Germany. And you have to tip your hat to them. They have good players and very cerebral players. In this game, Paris outsmarted them.
Yeah, Paris did. I think what has been nice so far about this tournament compared to previous iterations of EQC, because we've got the Division 1, the Division 2, like they score points on the board. I've not seen any clean sweeps, any whitewashes, which could sometimes happen when you've got like the best team in the UK versus the only team from a smaller NGB. And I think that's been really nice, and I've enjoyed that. The scores, it's like, ooh, where's it going to go?
We have to give some credit to the organizers. Like, the splitting up between Division 1 and Division 2 really is paying dividends right now. We're having good games, and in each tournament, they're like much closer together, and it's much more fun to watch them. I mean, yeah, last year we could have like a 250-0. Nobody wants to watch that, no offense, but that's just not fun. But this, we have a 150-50, which was a great game with some great tackles, great physical gifts from all players. It's quite enjoyable, and I think we have to tip our hats to the people making this division. It was a controversial decision, but I think it paid off, really. Yeah,
it's definitely paid off. And even like through the tournament, Oxford Mammoths just played the Meta Unicorns, and, you know, a fairly new community team from the UK, the Oxford Mammoths. The first 9 minutes was like 30-20 for a really long time. You know, the Unicorns ran away with it, but there's still a lot to look at. Like a lot of games, if you look at the scores, there's a lot to talk about.
So I think we can be really anxious about the progressing of this tournament, but now I think we have to cut the time short because we have something prepared for you, a roundtable about the future of Quidditch. We're going to play it now in the break for you guys and take a look. It was pre-recorded, so please forgive us for any inconveniences. So take care. Bex, thanks for joining me.
Thank you. Bye.